Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's 12:06. You know what that means? It means that Kevin Deutsch, the general manager of Butler, Lexus, South Atlanta, and Shelley Winter are in the studio here at 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk, to talk cars. And we are going to start off. Kevin, welcome. It's good to see you, my brother.
I am happy to be here, man. This is great.
This is going to be a good show, ladies and gentlemen. First, let me give out the number because the show is designed for you to call us or call Kevin, and ask him a question on automotive any information you want to know around cars. So 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. Kevin, I'm just going to read the headline. Trump wants to do new tariffs on automobiles at 25%. I'm going to let you rip. Let you go. Turn you loose.
Well, I'm going to be as kind as I can, but I will tell you that my entire life has involved around people calling and coming into the dealership and asking about tariffs, because it doesn't just affect cars. It affects every aspect of the automotive industry. And these tariffs are not to be taken lightly. I'm not going to tell you I know anything that anybody else doesn't know. In fact, I'll go so far as to tell you I've been in some pretty good meetings recently with manufacturers, and they don't know what's going on. We're all up in the air until the second or third, and we'll learn a lot more. But we do know that there's something coming, and it needs to come. And
when you say it needs to come, can you stretch that out a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It hasn't been a level playing field in the U.S. The president's correct about that. I'm not sure the bedside manner is correct sometimes, but the message is. So I'll give you a great example. Something near and dear to a lot of people. Everybody loves Tito's vodka.
Right.
Made here in the good old USA. Versus another great vodka would be Grey Goose, made in France. So Grey Goose imports their vodka into the U.S. at 0 tariffs. So when you go to the liquor store and you buy a bottle at $35, that's exactly what we brought it in for.
Right, gotcha.
Tito's, who's had great success, comes from Texas. They decide they want to go to France. 100% tariff.
So in France, Tito's costs double what I'm paying for it here.
So a $35 bottle is now $70.
In France.
So which bottle are you buying in France?
Right.
So what happens is Tito's doesn't hire more people in Austin. They don't pay the Teamsters to ship it to the longshoremen.
Right.
And they don't get to put it on a ship, and the merchant marines don't get paid because it never goes anywhere.
Right.
So we're not making more product. And that's a great example of what exactly
the unfairness in the tariffs, right.
Is just getting things to where we can open up our trade and not be shut down and be a tool to the rest of the world.
And not only that, but it allows Tito's to have another competitor in the market in that vodka space.
Absolutely.
Right.
So the same thing has happened with cars and metal and all these components with cars. The problem with cars is you get into these things like you get NAFTA, which is the North American Free Trade Agreement. So you've got Mexico, Canada, U.S. We all have an agreement in the way we build, and some of these parts are being shipped back and forth. So when you hear 25% tariff, I'm going to tell you it's not going to be, cars aren't going up 25%,
right,
no matter what happens. There's different components that come from different places. They're going to have different tariffs. You know, I'll give you a great example, and I can take my brand.
Okay.
We build the RX in Canada. Is it going to have a 25% tariff? No. We build the RX in Japan. They're talking about a different tariff in Japan. Ford, they build F-150s in the U.S. and Mexico. Are some going to have tariffs, some not? Well, no. So there's an algorithm that nobody knows yet that's going to have to do with components and parts.
Now explain that part. So let's say the F-150 that's built in Mexico, but your engine comes from someplace else.
Right.
Does the engine the tariff get slapped on the engine, but won't that drive the price of the F-150 up?
Well, that's what they're trying to figure out. That's why they say
Gotcha.
that if these tariffs go into effect on April 2nd, they won't actually go into effect. What we're hearing is until May 3rd. Because they have to figure all this out.
Gotcha.
And then could it be posturing and negotiating or not? But here's what I do know. Let's say that there is a tariff. Then parts are going to go up. And if parts go up, your insurance goes up again. It's up 15% this year over last year, up 15% over the year before. If parts go up, your insurance goes up, your warranty goes up because they have to buy parts. Everything car related could see an increase.
Right.
We don't know. It could be 2%, it could be none, it could be 20%, depending. But let's take what the manufacturers do and how they look at this.
Okay.
It's a global economy. So how many cars does, and I'm going to avoid my manufacturer, let's say Ford. Ford's a global company. So let's say that they sell in 50 countries. So do they charge it all more to the U.S. or do they spread it out over all 50 countries?
Right.
So your net effect could come out to be something like this. Sales tax in the state of Georgia today is 7%. If they made it 8%, would it really defer you?
Right. Well, right.
So,
and will I go away or move away or be hurt or anyway? Right.
So we don't know how each manufacturer will do it. We've heard conversations that the manufacturers will begin to absorb some of it. There's been talk from the White House that the changing the EPA restrictions and the CAFE laws and some of the trade.
What are CAFE laws?
Those are your mileage requirements.
Okay.
That what manufacturers are spending would virtually pay for the tariffs. So we don't know if they just want everybody to invest $20 billion more in the U.S. and over the next 5 years and commit to whatever. So we'll see how it plays out. I would tell you this. There's zero risk to the American consumer if you're in the market for a car over the next 6 months to go get it done immediately. There's no risk. If it's on the ground, pretty much we know that, well, there are no tariffs.
Right.
So you walk in a dealership today, you walk out with a car, it didn't get affected. You know you 100% guaranteed yourself a savings. So if you know that you need one, and I've told you this the last 2 weeks on the radio, go buy the car.
Right.
Go today, go Monday, go Tuesday. Go get it over with before something could happen. Because could it happen? Yes. Do we know what it is?
Right.
Nobody knows what it is.
But if anything does happen, prices will go up.
Right.
Right.
And that affects affordability for everybody and everything.
Well, it's because of affordability right now. We've gone through this. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. If you have a question automotive related to Ask Kevin. We've been talking a lot about rising prices for used cars, new cars. Affordability is kind of touch and go right now anyway. Does this put it over the top to where people will stop buying, you think?
I don't think it does. And that's just, again, it's just my opinion.
Right.
It doesn't make me right.
Right.
I don't see it. Cars go up a little bit every year anyway.
Okay.
I think that they will figure it out. There's ways, like I said, you can spread it. There's ways to combat it. There's negotiations on plans to build here. We don't know what the White House is thinking. We don't know where they're going to come in. We know that Donald Trump had conversations with the Prime Minister of Canada yesterday.
Right.
So that door is back open again, as we knew it would be.
And Prime Minister of Canada was playing the same game that the president was playing. I'm going to talk tough too, and then we're going to sit down and work it out.
Yeah, it's called negotiation.
Right.
So I think that something is brewing. This administration definitely wants something to happen. To what extent? But by no means do I believe that the sky is falling. Cars aren't going up 25%. If cars go up, then used cars go with them because availability. Right. We all know what that looked like in COVID. But if I was to be a betting person, and I bet with no knowledge in this case, I would bet that it's going to be less effect than we saw during COVID.
Absolutely. Meaning on the price hike.
On the price hike. And it didn't stop anybody from buying a car, did it?
Right. No, not at all. Great opening because I learned a lot in that. I want to ask you this question. Where can a person get a bill of sale without paying for it, and what other paperwork would they need?
Well, if you're in the state of Georgia, you can go to the state of Georgia website, and you actually can fill in a bill of sale and print that off. So if you're selling your car yourself, and I get this a lot, you do need an odometer statement and a bill of sale, and then a power of attorney, and you can get all.
Where do you get an odometer statement?
Again, if you just Google free odometer statement,
Okay.
you'll get it. At the very top of the pages, or where people pay advertisers, you'll want to go down below where
Right.
it doesn't say advertiser
Right.
or supported or whatever it says on Google, and you'll go to like the state of Georgia and you'll print them right off, and they're free. And
you just fill in.
right.
And do you have
And
to
the
get it?
county will take it.
Do you have to get it? What do you call it? Notarized.
Power of attorney does need to be notarized, but you can just go to the bank or to a notary with who's buying the car, and
Right.
then they can take the paperwork to their county. And if you get this paperwork from the state of Georgia, it's georgia.gov, then the counties are guaranteed going to take that paperwork.
404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. The name of the show, The Car Guys. His name is Kevin Deutsch. He's the general manager of Butler, Lexus, South Atlanta. He knows everything from the headlight to the tail light. He knows financing, leasing. He just knows everything. So please give him a call with your questions. 404-872-0750, 1-800-WSB-TALK. The show is called The Car Guys. We will be right back.